in seed to Series A companies. Specifically, we focus on consumer-facing businesses. Yeah. So maybe to tell you a bit of myself, mungkin awalnya similar to you guys ya. At first, I went to community college and then I transferred to university. Waktu di Texas, at UT Austin, I was also elected as the president of Permias waktu itu di Texas, di UT Austin. And then I think it's a bit different, yeah, the environment between now and when I was there 12 years ago. Yeah, back then I think there's no TikTok. Yeah, there's no. I think Instagram is still not widely used by my friends. I think it's only Facebook and I think I remember in 2008 if I want to make get in touch with my family in back in Indonesia, I have to buy the phone card. You know, I have to buy the phone card to the voucher to call my parents in Indonesia. I think nowadays everything got so easy. You can just do a WhatsApp video call and stuff like that. So I think it's a bit different. And I see that a lot of what I call a Gen Z generation, they are more confident and well informed, as compared to my generation, the millennials. Yeah, I think my generation is more a bit shy in terms of the performing. You know, I think this is because of TikTok and Instagram. They become like a performer, ya. Jadi kalau di TikTok kan semuanya harus kayak joget atau gimana gitu ya. Jadi itu I think there is a bit of a difference between my generation and your generation. And also I think one of the things that is important, I think it's about not only a confident, yeah. It's also about the different. I think it's about loyalty. I think the Gen Z generation, they are more a bit disloyal karena so many options, ya. Jadi makanya mereka bisa pindah-pindah dengan sangat easy. Ya, jadi mungkin itu that's a bit of my introduction. I run a venture capital firm. Started my career jadi as soon as I graduate in 2012, I langsung balik ke Indonesia, ya, karena back then in 2012 Indonesia's economy is like booming like crazy, ya. Jadi I think rather than pursuing a career in the States, I went back directly. I decided to go back directly to Indonesia, and waktu itu pas awal balik ke Indonesia, I started my professional career dulu, masuk ke Big Four, ya, ke Big Four accounting firm di advisory divisionnya, and then nggak lama dari itu I quit my job and then I started my own investment banking firm. Nah, investment banking tuh basically is a corporate finance related advisory, ya. Jadi kita bantu companies to do their corporate actions. Kita menjadi advisornya untuk corporate actions company-company tersebut. Apakah mereka mau melakukan merger, acquisitions, rights issue, dan lain sebagainya. Nah, kemudian after 6 years, ya, doing running my own investment banking advisory, kemudian I gathered my friends, my close friends. Ada kita berempat, kita partner up, and then we start this venture capital firm called South Ventures. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Danny, for the introduction. Now let's move on to Toshiki. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hey everyone. Yeah, so my name is Toshiki. So I used to be in the Anza just like all of you, or DVC. I guess I was in the Anza, not in DVC, but so I graduated from the Anza 2013. So I was about, I think Danny was 2008. So we were 3 years different.
2008. Yeah, 2008. Masuk college in 2008.
Okay, so I think that's why we never met. I feel like we were.
So you graduated 2013, yeah?
Yes.
Graduated 2013.
From the Anza.
Oh, from the Anza.
Right. So we're a bit.
I
not that far away.
2000. I graduated 2012.
Okay. So
Yeah.
and then I transferred to Michigan, University of Michigan, graduated 2015. And since then, I've been working in Yahoo Fantasy Sports as a software engineer. So and then I guess bisa pakai Indo juga kan, bisa campur-campur aja. So my major was computer science engineering, but when I was in the Anza, it was totally different. So I guess I was in your shoe before, so I kind of know how it feels right now to be in college. So back then, I think when I was in the Anza, so actually I grew up in Indonesia as well, in Jakarta, SMP, SMA. I went to Canisius, and then I went to the Anza, and then I have no idea what I want to major in, right? Like, I don't know if everyone here is like that or not, but mine was like that. I have no idea. I want to do business. I want to do engineering. I have no idea at all. And then my first class was, I think it was humanities class. And then there was this white guy who raised his hand and talked for nonstop for like 30 minutes. And then he was like talking, I forgot what he was talking about. It was like, but it was not interesting at all. There was no point at all. He was just like mumbling through 30 minutes. And then when I was listening to that, and I realized, oh, actually, I don't want to be competing with all the American because I cannot speak English well. So I'm just gonna do engineering. So that was my decision why I want to do engineering. And then even after I decided I want to do engineering, I was not sure what engineering I want to do. I like cars, so I was thinking I want to do mechanical engineering. And then back then I like airplane as well, so I want to do aerospace. But back then, I think aerospace is usually, I heard that it's pretty hard because you need to be a citizen usually if you want to work in aerospace companies like Boeing or like all those companies. Yeah, I'm from Ann Arbor, by the way. There's a question in the chat. Ann Arbor, Michigan. So yeah, and then so back then, I think when I was in the Anza, I used to play basketball with all this Indonesian people who were already working in Silicon Valley. And then I was talking to them, and they were all saying that, oh, mechanical engineering is kind of conventional. If you want to really do something that's more sophisticated or more newer, do something like electrical engineering. It's pretty similar. So I listened to them, and then I ended up transferring as an electrical engineering major to Michigan. It was, so the department was EECS, just like in Berkeley, I guess, electrical engineering, computer science. So it was like one department. Electrical engineering, took the first class, and then I don't know if you know, but there's like oscilloscope. I think for people who takes like physics class in the Anza DVC, they probably have that as well. And then I hate that so much, looking at oscilloscope. I don't know why. For that reason, I actually switched to computer engineering because it was still in the EECS, right? So it was pretty easy to switch. And then I did computer engineering for one semester, and then I realized actually I like the software part more than the hardware, so I ended up moving to computer science. And then after that, I start getting internship. So I interned in Goldman Sachs, actually in New York, as a software engineer though. So it was investment banks. And then it was a good intern, but I didn't really like it because I feel like everything, the important people, yang penting buat Goldman tuh kayak orang yang actually who makes money gitu, kayak the software engineer are the second class people. Jadi because of that, I decided I don't want to go back full time there, and then I ended up joining Yahoo Fantasy Sports because I like sports a lot. I'm a huge sports fan. I play basketball, I play soccer, and stuff like that. So I want to work on something that I really like. So yeah, that's why I joined Yahoo. I had other offers back then, but then I guess for me, doing something I like, which is coding, programming, and sports, is probably the best for me. So that's how I decided to join Yahoo. Yeah. I can keep going on. I don't know if I should stop or not, but Yeah, so I was in the shoes of please shoot a lot of questions, any questions you have. I was in your position before. I know how it feels, and then I even know the struggle of transferring to 4 years university compared to people who was there since freshman. So short story, biasa kalau di uni gitu kan ada career fair kan buat nyari kerja biasanya. I went to career fair as a junior karena I transfer, right? I transfer, and then when you were lining up to talk to like those people, like all the people who join since they're freshmen, itu mereka kayak langsung kayak, oh, this is the app that I created. This is, mereka bawa HP-nya, mereka bawa iPad-nya, mereka show kayak, okay, this is the app that I created. Udah orang itu selesai ngomong, and then come my turn, and then my experience, oh yeah, I was a president at UNICEF di Anza. Like, okay, then what? Like, what other tech did you work on? Like, I have nothing. Karena basically biasa kalau di college kan kita ngambilnya kayak math, physics, chem gitu-gitu, all the GED class, basic classes. Tapi X classnya kayak basically I haven't take anything, so I don't really have the software engineering experience, right? So that was a big struggle for me to get an internship because everyone else who was a junior have all this internship before. When they were sophomore, they have all these X classes, they have all their projects, but I don't have anything. So that was a big struggle for me. So yeah, and then I think Danny also mentioned that I think people now have more like resources and stuff. When back then Danny doesn't have any. I would say mine was probably not as bad as Danny, but I feel like the resource probably was not as good as now. Like we never have this webinars, for example, talking to people who are already working. Kind of back when you were in college, your focus is always like, oh, getting A in all the classes, getting a good GPA so you can transfer to good school. That's it, right? And then after that, nggak tahu ngapain lagi gitu. If I can talk to myself back when I was in college, I'd probably say, kayak don't too focus only on the GPA, but also focus on, like for example, getting internship. Like for example, okay, maybe summer internship, during summer you have to take classes, for example, buat apa sih, buat satisfy the requirement to transfer, right? Tapi other than that, sometimes people, oh, actually kelasnya keburu nih 2 tahun bisa transfer, just go back to Indo yang nyantai gitu. Instead of doing that, probably try to look for internship, try to actually find an experience. Kalau bisa di US, it will be very good. You can get a non-paid internship. Tapi kalau nggak bisa di Indo, it's fine. Just work for, if your parents have company, if your parents know anyone, just work. Tapi at the end of the day, what actually matters is what you actually learn from the internship gitu. Kayak bukan, oh yeah, I did internship at Gojek as what gitu. Tapi actually, it's not just the brand. Tapi actually what you did when you were in career fair, you're talking to people. Actually, people are actually interested in what you did. Jadi don't only care about the branding. Jangan kayak cuma di resume ini bisa taruh atau di apa sih application buat transfer dulu, apa sih lupa namanya, common app ya apa sih namanya. Tapi basically jangan pentingin cuma about putting the brand or the title of what you did, tapi actually really learn something from it so you can actually talk about it. And if you're talking to people who actually are a good like expertise in those stuff, when they talk to you, they can easily tell if you're just like, you actually don't learn anything from the internship, you didn't do anything, or you actually did and learn something. So that's probably my advice. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna stop. I think I've been mumbling long enough.
Thank you so much, Toshiki. And I think it's such a great sharing, like about choosing something that you like. And I think that's something, such a brave move and something that can help us as college students to think about in the future. And also for Danny, thank you for sharing about how to understand like our surroundings and also the economy, and reminding us about like the privilege we have, such as social media, which is something very crucial in our time right now.
Yeah, that's true. Can I do a random survey here? Just wanna curious about this question ya. So coba angkat tangan ya, raise hand if you I'm gonna ask a question gitu ya, and then raise hand if you say yes to my my question ya. Any one of you in here, as soon as you graduate, you wanna be apakah mau pursue a career in like pursue a professional career ya in like investment banking firm or let's say big tech ya working in a big tech atau misalkan even in politics lah gitu. Ada nggak yang di sini as soon as you graduate itu kepikiran okay, I think I wanna pursue a professional career in itu di company dulu gitu. Ada nggak any one of you here yang itu angkat tangan yang mau kerja dulu gitu? Lumayan ya. Tapi I think it's not majority. Okay, so the next question. Yeah, next question. I think it's about 70. I think it's about 30%, 30 to 40%. Next question is, any one of you here, as soon as you graduate, itu mau starting a company, a firm atau a tech company, apapun itu gitu. Ada nggak? Berarti sisanya ya?
Ini langsung ya, langsung after graduate.
Langsung, as soon as you graduate, ya. Either there are two options, ya. The first one was pursuing a career, ya, in professional career dulu lah, in investment banking firm kayak tadi Toshi in Goldman Sachs dan lain sebagainya gitu ya. Atau di big tech, ya kan? Siapa tahu mau kerja dulu di Google, di banyak kan sekarang di Facebook, di Apple atau gimana gitu. Ini berarti tadi cuma berempat yang hold on. I think yang mau pursuing starting itu ya a company as soon as they graduate itu cuma 4 orang. Wow, it's quite surprising. Karena I think when ketika waktu itu gue graduate ya, when I graduated in 2012, I think a lot of people really want to be an entrepreneur. When I 2012, yeah, I think the entrepreneurial spirit is more is higher back then compared to today. Maybe because of this era, 2020, I think because of this glooming years ya, blooming year 2020, 2021 gitu. Mungkin itu yang bikin orang kayaknya I think I want to pursue a professional career first. Maybe ya mungkin itu yang berbeda. Okay, thank you for the input. Karena I always want to get information. This is important for my my decision making ini juga in my in my venture capital. Karena in my venture capital firm ya di South Ventures, we have 16 portfolio companies right now. We and mostly ya in consumer facing businesses. Jadi kayak misalkan kita ada satu company namanya Syca, SYCA. Itu it's a cosmetic companies ya. How they sell itu kita harus tahu, kita harus bisa baca how consumer thinks gitu. Untuk bisa kita sell correctly to the right target consumers. Kita juga ada Amazara, itu di fashion retail company yang baru kerjasama dengan Wonder Woman dan lain sebagainya. Kita ada media company juga namanya Finpok, RCC6 Media, and also Jakarta Vegan Guide. Gitu. Jadi yeah, I like to do this random survey. Maybe we can proceed to Q&A right now.
Okay. Thank you so much for the survey. It's actually quite interesting to see.
Tapi tadi sisanya ngapain ya? Sisanya masih bingung kali.
Mungkin bingung raise hand
Sisanya
button di mana.
ini kayak nganggur aja lah gitu. Atau mungkin mau pursuing ini ya, graduate school ya. Mungkin.
Or maybe just not sure yet.
Iya, benar sih. Mungkin maybe
not sure yet. But Danny, for your information, for all my friends in the US gitu, including myself, although I've worked for 5 years, I have no plans in like staying in the US to pursue like leadership position. My goal in the next couple of years probably go back and actually start my own company.
Go back to Indonesia.
Probably, yeah, and probably most of my friends. Probably I would say from all my friends, probably maybe 10% yang bakal stay di sini and actually live here. Others are probably going back to help their parents or to actually start their own company.
Yeah. Indonesia is a land of opportunity, compared to
totally
country like Australia, like even in Singapore ya. Maksudnya entrepreneurship tuh di Indonesia, I think it's lahannya itu subur banget gitu.
Yep.
If you go to Australia, cara gampangnya kan ngelihatnya gini. If you go to Australia, and then you see the newspaper di sana gitu ya. Newspaper atau news atau apapun itulah, magazine ya dan segala macam. Dan and you compare it to newspaper di Indonesia maupun magazine lah ada di Indonesia ya. Tapi bukan yang sekarang kan udah digital ya. Kalau dulu kan masih newspaper, masih paper. Nah, kalau compare itu banyak sekali liputan-liputan di Indonesia ya tentang entrepreneurial. Kalau di Australia gitu, di Singapura itu jarang yang ngeliput hal-hal seperti itu. Jadi memang lebih optimis aja kalau orang Indonesia. And it's very easy to start to grow a business here compare to ini ya di negara-negara di Australia ataupun even in the US. Karena kan kalau kita Indonesia di sana kita itu udah double ininya ya. Pertama kita second class citizen and then we are Asian gitu. Nah, itu double tuh itunya. Struggle-nya double.
Yeah. And then also in I guess developing country versus developed country, right? Kalau di US gitu actually like I guess this is just my opinion and my point of view kayak as a software engineer and with the money I'm getting right now I feel like I can live happily gitu walaupun mungkin bakal pas-pasan bayar mortgage but I can live happily, I still can be happy gitu. Dan rasanya kalau di Indo actually if you're a working class citizen gitu sometimes like it's hard to say. Sometimes in developing country like Indonesia, you actually have to have money to be happy gitu karena everything is getting expensive juga, and I think that's why a lot of people di Indo it's probably more better to be entrepreneurial, I think. And then there's just so much opportunities in Indonesia compared to in a developed country like in the US, I think. And then in the US, every time you want to start something, sometimes it's a bit hard. It depends on what you're doing, but you're competing with all the US people plus all over the people that moves to US to find opportunity juga gitu. Sedangkan di Indo, you only compete with Indonesian people. And then I can say that we are all fortunate, very fortunate. We can all be here. Our parents can like bayarin kita buat sekolah in US. So we're actually in that top percentile of people in Indonesia gitu. And they're because the GDP per capita in Indonesia is still very low. And you have all the connection, you have all this, but if you're in the US and you're working, you're actually just like normal people, right? So it's an interesting thing, I think.
Interesting.
Really depends.
There's a question here from
sorry to cut you guys off, but before we move on to the Q&A session, would it be okay if we just take a quick screenshot of everybody, just documentation?
Sure.
Bagi guest-guest di sini, kalau bisa kalian nyalain camera for a while, it will be very much appreciated. We'll just take a quick screenshot. Yes. Spotlight-nya tolong dimatiin dulu ya, the moderator. All right. Whoever is taking the screenshot, can you please count or something?
Sure, I can take the screenshot. Okay, taking the screenshot in 3, 2, 1. Okay, second page, second one.
Okay.
1, 2. Okay, it's done.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so for the Q&A part, actually, some people submitted their questions too from the Google Forms, but you can. Tadi Danny mau jawab question yang di chat dulu ya, so.
Yeah, I think the question is to me and to Toshi. How will a master degree be worth in the current world? Okay, mungkin kalau from my perspective, I think it's a bit of not so good news for people yang mau pursue their master gitu. Itu enggak. I think pursuing a master degree if you want to be an entrepreneur, I think it's not itu nggak terlalu worth the time and effort you spend in the uni for another 2 years gitu ya, 2 to 3 years. Entrepreneur itu kayak apa ya? Entrepreneur itu dia seperti explorer ya. I think I posted in my Instagram feed ya, waktu beberapa post yang kemarin. Entrepreneur itu kayak explorer. Jadi mereka itu mengeksplor something dan all it takes is courage. Itu yang pertama ya. Karena the entrepreneur will face a lot of challenges, a lot gitu ya. Jadi if you think that studying in university is hard, ya, and you want to give up gitu studying in the university, being an entrepreneur is 10 times harder ya than if you study in the university. You're gonna be thankful gitu. Kayak misalkan let's say maybe as soon as you graduate dari uni, terus mulai kerja, mulai being an entrepreneur, pasti kalian akan mulai berpikir, aduh di uni tuh enak banget ya gitu. Jadi I think pertama being an entrepreneur itu adalah courage ya, itu butuh courage. Kemudian yang kedua butuh luck ya. Jadi you have to try different things, butuh agility, jadi butuh so many things. Tapi yang the most important thing itu adalah butuh courage, and then butuh persistency ya, maksudnya perseverance. The third thing adalah luck. Itu the biggest factor to be a successful entrepreneurs. Yeah. Okay, I think that's from my point of view.
So I guess from my point of view, so I didn't take masters, by the way, if you don't know. I only have bachelor. So I feel like this is my opinion because I guess I have different major as well than Danny. So I was from engineering major. So I think there are 3 reasons usually people take masters. But before that, I would just say that first, taking master is very expensive. So you have to be sure. And unless, sometimes their parents want them to take masters and people just take it. A lot of people do that. But I think there are 3 main reasons. So the first one is for branding, right? Especially if you want to go back to Indo, or sometimes even in the US as well. Sometimes, I went to S1 school, yang the brand is probably not as strong, right? Or misalkan in the US gitu, you went to that school, you're trying to look for a job, you cannot find a job because the school brand is not that strong. Okay, that's why I want to take master and have a better brand name. So that's one of the reasons. Sometimes people mau brand juga kayak, mau balik Indo, I have a brand. Karena a lot of Indonesian people, they really care about branding, right? Like people bilang, I went to Harvard. So people are, dia orang Harvard gitu. That's just the branding part. A lot of people do that, right? Personally, I don't really care, so I don't do that. So that's the first reason, branding. Sometimes it's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. Branding is one way to do it too. Some people do it that way. But second reason is to get further in their career. So I know a lot of people, let's say, maybe in marketing, sales, software engineer, I don't know, sometimes. Ini buat orang in the US, they work for maybe a couple years, and then sometimes I think, the company will pay 50% for your tuition, and then so you go get masters. Then after you get that MBA, for example, for 2 years, and then you get promoted to director level. Misalkan kayak gitu. A lot of people do that as well in the US. I think in Indo, I guess some people can do that as well. Basically, you were already working for a couple years, and then you want to further your career, you want to be a director, and sometimes like, all the director misalkan punya MBA gitu. So it's very hard for you to get promoted because everyone has an MBA. Then you just go and get an MBA or any other master, right? That's second reason. And by the way, all of this is a reason, kind of a lot of reason when you're working in the US, demanding compared to you want to be an entrepreneurial go back to itu kayak totally beda, like Danny said. The third reason, this is from my perspective as kalau mau kerja di US dulu, itu a lot of people actually take masters buat kayak career change gitu. Jadi one example, gue sekarang software engineer, right? Software engineer basically coding. Ada juga namanya product manager, basically yang I guess people starting to aware what is product manager. Back then it was not that famous, but product manager basically orang yang actually punya the product gitu. Jadi misalkan for example apa ya, misalkan kayak gue product manajernya apa sih kayak GoFood gitu. Jadi actually I own that product. Gue yang bikin kita mau build feature apa, timeline-nya gimana, misalkan kayak gitu, itu product manager. Jadi they don't do coding at all, tapi they have to know like what product they want to make gitu. Nah misalkan kayak gitu, jadi as a software engineer, kamu jadi product manager bisa langsung, tapi a lot of people actually take MBA for 2 years, habis itu baru masuk product manager gitu, karena mereka pengen learn all the things that they didn't learn when they were in S1. Jadi they want to learn all the management, they want to learn all the product, for example, they want to understand all the metrics, what it means. Jadi for that, they actually take MBA buat kayak change career gitu, not kayak, not really like pivot, right? Karena product manager actually needs to know a bit of engineering stuff. That's just like one example. So that's 3 reasons. But for me, kalau software engineer sih actually lulus master nggak lulus master actually menurut gue nggak gitu penting sih. Kayak in my work, just as a software engineer, kayak I rather have 2 years of I probably learn more 2 years of experience working than 2 years in masters. If I'm doing the same software engineer. Jadi misalkan udah bachelornya CS, terus mau ngambil master CS lagi, I feel like kayak mendingan actually you get that 2 years from work experience or doing your startup your own gitu. Unless you actually really know what you want to do. For example, S1 dulu CS, tapi actually I really, really like machine learning. I really, really like something data science or something yang very specific. And you actually go to take the masters, and then you look for school or professor yang actually very strong in machine learning, and actually you pursue that deeper. Then you take masters. Because a lot of people do that as well. So I think that's probably what I say. So important. Yeah, it can be important for some people. It really depends on how you use it, but it doesn't mean that you always have to have an MBA. Like for example, I have no plan in getting an MBA at all. Like my personal thing. Kayak sekarang, I want to go back to Indonesia and start my startup. I have no idea. I only did all the engineering stuff. Yeah, maybe I have a bit of idea about like product management, sales, marketing, all that stuff. But if you ask me, will I take an MBA, spend 2 years, and then go back? Probably no. I rather just buy all the books and just read it by myself and just do it right away than having an MBA. That's just my thought. So it really depends on person to person, I would say.
That's actually very interesting, and it relates to our first question from the Google Forms, which is actually what is the most important aspect of community college life? And for Danny's case, then Danny, I think that you also went to community college atau?
I went to community college.
So what's the most important aspect of community college life that you feel is vital for your current jobs? And like Toshiki said tadi kan, mending, you guys are both recommending bachelor's aja, it's okay, right? But then, when you want to work in companies, sometimes there are rumors saying that people prefer yang only masters, and like it's very competitive. So what activities in these community college yang bakal bantu for your future?
Okay. So aspek in a community college yang membantu sekarang ya in my journey gitu as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I think apa ya aspeknya? Let me think. Soalnya udah lama banget ya, jadi udah lupa.
I can go first too, Danny.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's closer to community college days was closer for mine than yours. But I would probably say, by the way, just to reiterate, kalau I didn't say masters is not important. Yeah. I think it's important, but not for all people. It really depends on case by case basis. Just to be clear, I didn't say you don't need to take masters. I didn't say that at all. Okay. So I think to be honest, so I was a president of UNICEF, right? I feel like that was when I did that. It was. I would say it's not important right now. Like back again, it really depends on actually what you do instead of like why you did it and what you learned from it instead of actually just what, right? When I was in the Anza, I didn't do any internship at all, so I didn't have that experience at all. If I had internship, probably they'll be useful. So I think back when I was in community college, what was important was just getting to know a lot of like Indonesian people, having like all this network of Indonesian people, and then who will most of them will succeed. So I think that's probably the best part for me. And then think of just think of the thing that you're doing right now is like step by step, right? It's not like sometimes what you did in the Anza or DVC will matter at the end when you become an entrepreneur. Like it's not always like that. It's always step by step. So you're in community college. What's your goal? Okay, I want to transfer to a good school. So that's your goal right now. So you work on that, and then you transfer to a good school. When you transfer, so let's say you transfer to UC Berkeley. Now you're in UC Berkeley. What's your goal? Okay, I want to graduate and have a job. Okay, that's your goal. Maybe you want to have an internship first in the junior year. So that's your goal. You did it. You got an internship. That internship actually leads to the next thing, which is getting a full-time job. And then maybe that full-time job leads you to another thing, which is knowing a lot of important people or knowing a lot of people high up. So when you go back to Indonesia, you can actually hire them to work for your company, for example. So it's always like step by step, right? It's not like, oh, when I was in the Anza, everything I did was not like important, was not useful. It's not like that. Like what I did in the Anza maybe directly has no impact right now to my work, but it definitely was able to transfer to Michigan, and then that Michigan actually leads me to internship at Goldman. That internship in Goldman actually leads me to get a full-time in Yahoo, for example. So I think there is like indirect impact, I would say.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So for me, I think I think this is also answering a question from Christy from the chat box. For me, I think what I learned in the community college and university is more about character building. Yeah, I think that is the most important aspect for you to be able to navigate yourself as soon as you graduate. Yeah, because I don't even remember a single lessons, ya, a single kayak mungkin yang waktu itu lesson about economics misalkan ya. I of course pasti pas di uni kita belajar ya. Cuman as soon as I graduate and then I interested to know more to apply the economic lessons to my journey ya di entrepreneurship ataupun in my career. I think I have to relearn jadi semuanya. I have to relearn all the things in the uni. Dan I have to, because sometimes in the uni what we learn in the uni, karena we don't know how to implement those lessons, kita jadi cuma menghafal gitu. Nah itu yang I think kenapa di university the most important aspect itu adalah character building ya. Maybe it's a bit different ya from my point of view and from Toshi, because Toshi I think is a very technical guy, is a software engineer. So what Toshi learned in the uni I think directly bisa implementable gitu di karir, karena is a very technical stuff gitu. Kalau misalkan becoming an entrepreneur is another complex things ya. Jadi yang paling penting mungkin yang nanti akan kalian belajari di sana adalah character building. Gimana caranya disiplin, being a disciplined student gitu ya. Kemudian be able to network with your fellow ini juga ya kan, fellow students gitu. Kemudian I remember waktu pas di Texas, so waktu pas di UT Austin, waktu itu ada pemilihan presiden Permias. And then kebetulan saya diminta lah oleh beberapa teman untuk apply for the presidency candidate gitu, to become the president of Permias Austin. Nah di sana I learned a lot of things about gimana kita bisa present ourselves in front of many of our friends gitu ya, many students. Kita formulate an idea, vision, bagaimana kita bisa transform Permias di waktu di Austin ya. Waktu itu Permias Austin tuh a bit nggak begitu aktif. Nah dari sana ya kita belajar itu gitu. Jadi itu yang menurut saya perlu yang the most important things ya that I got from my university years, from my community college years, itu adalah character building.
Okay, and
yeah.
Thank you for the answers. And there's a question that's for Ko Danny. Gimana caranya menilai suatu startup yang ada kemungkinan bisa jadi unicorn di masa depan? Apakah dinilai dari sisi sektor yang berkembang atau foundernya atau yang lain?
Ya, cara menilai sebuah startup, I think ya startup itu sekarang punya penilaian yang berbeda compare to general valuation techniques yang dipakai oleh yang kita pelajari di ini ya di uni ya. Mungkin nanti if you guys take a finance major, you're gonna learn about all this stuff about how to value a company. Usually the way the traditional methods to value a company itu ada 3. Yang pertama adalah menggunakan discounted cash flow. Kemudian yang kedua adalah menggunakan market multiple. Kita compare between one company and the other company gitu, yang apple to apple. Kemudian the third thing is the asset based valuation. Asset based valuation itu basically ya kita cuma nilai asetnya. Misalkan perusahaan they have property, kita nilai berapa. They have cars, dia punya inventories. Nah, kita semua nilai, and then itu dikurangi semua debt-nya, semua liability-nya, itu adalah value of the company. Jadi ada 3 approach yang bisa kita pakai. Nah, for startup, they change the whole method to value a company. Ya. Jadi startup itu they really project into a far away future gitu in terms of the valuation. Mereka startup tech ya, terutama tech companies itu biasanya pasti ada stages ya. Stages ada seed, mungkin you guys are familiar about this. Ada seed round, kemudian ada series A, ada series B, ada series C, ya. Even Gojek sekarang udah series I think series G gitu. Nah, itu adalah anak tangga daripada valuasi sebuah startup. Usually most of the tech companies itu mereka selalu namanya up round. Jadi ketika from seed to series A itu sudah pasti valuasinya naik. Ya, kalau misalkan ya pasti kan akan dilihat traction-nya juga. Ya, apakah number of users-nya itu bertambah, number of revenue itu grow faster ya, dan segala macam. Jadi series A itu udah pasti lebih tinggi daripada seed. Series B itu udah pasti lebih tinggi daripada series A. Itu namanya up round karena all the venture capital, all the early investor, the angel investors yang masuk ke dalam tech company at the seed stage, they don't want to book a loss. Karena kalau misalkan series A turun valuation-nya, ya pasti itu akan secara di atas kertas ya, itu on paper itu pasti akan loss gitu. Kalau misalkan dia down round, artinya series A-nya lebih rendah dibanding seed-nya. Nah, jadi itu satu metode ya, di mana big tech startup itu mengikuti metode itu semuanya. Venture capital juga seperti itu. Nah, mereka itu biasa juga mengcompare between let's say misalkan valuation dari yang similar kan Tokopedia and misalkan let's say Bukalapak gitu ya. Nah, Bukalapak, Tokopedia, misalkan Tokopedia sekarang currently valued at 7.5 billion ya. I think it's 7.5 atau 8.5 billion. Bukalapak valued at misalkan let's say berapa? Smaller, of course, way smaller than Tokopedia. Nah, kenapa way smaller? Karena Tokopedia has more users, has more revenue gitu ya. Jadi itu bisa kadang-kadang mereka value-nya itu berdasarkan number of users gitu ya. Jadi let's say number of active users. Nah, number of active users itu akan dinilai. Let's say misalkan per active users itu nilainya adalah $10 ya. Nah, dia akan totalin tuh. Jadi $10 times let's say number of active users Tokopedia ada kayak 5 million gitu ya. Nah, 10 times 5 million itu menjadi valuasinya Tokped, and then valuation itu tolak ukur itu akan dipakai oleh Bukalapak ketika dia mau value the company. Ya, jadi Bukalapak juga akan memakai Tokped itu di value $5 per user. Kita juga akan pakai that benchmark gitu ya. $5 times the number of users of Bukalapak. Berapa? Itu adalah value Bukalapak. Jadi ketika when the investor come, dia tanya, wah, kenapa kok bisa di value sebesar ini? Nah, mereka punya all the reasoning. Tokped value segini and number of users segini, ya kan? Berarti per usernya adalah dinilai segini. Nah, Bukalapak punya number of users segini, ya, using the Tokped valuation kita harusnya di value segini, ya. Jadi itu yang kurang lebih metode yang biasa dipakai oleh para startup ya, para tech untuk tech startup maupun startup ya in general yang hyper growth. Ya, kurang lebih seperti itu sih.
Oke, thank you Danny. Ini next ada question di chat for Toshiki. Would projects be a good substitute to a major? Like this person is majoring in econ, which has no CS stuff, but she is aiming to go to data science.
Yeah, sorry, I was about to reply that, but I think yes, you can always but it's gonna be very hard. At the end of the day, especially in the US now, kayaknya a lot of like tech companies, I know Google and Facebook probably have they don't actually require computer science major to be able to work as a software engineer. And I feel like in Indonesia probably bakal kayak gitu juga at one point. At the end of the day, it's all about what you know, what experience you have. Like the major is just a brand, right? It's just a brand. It's just like a proof, like a certificate saying like you actually learn for this many long hours and you actually graduated. And every school have a standard. Jadi if you graduate from a good school, that's why it's kind of kayak bukti kalau actually dia udah lulus dari sini loh. Jadi at least kayaknya dia seharusnya udah sepinter itu buat bisa lulus dari situ. Basically kan that's what it is, right? So yeah, you definitely can. Tapi kayak it's very hard because satu kayak how many hours are you gonna put on your side projects, right? Kayak a lot of people are busy, so you cannot really put a lot of hours in doing the side projects. Side projects or learning by yourself is the same thing as learning in school. But learning in school, you actually have a guidance, right? You have a people who teach you what to do next, what you should learn next, what are the important things. They'll like summary, basically put all the things in a summary, they rangkum everything. But if you learn by yourself, then sometimes you have no idea what to learn next. Although a lot of things in the internet now, there are a lot of resources, there are a lot of classes that you can join, but sometimes it's not as deep as the things that they taught in school, I think. But I mean, there are so many people who, for example, who doesn't major in computer science, but they're actually doing software engineering right now, right? So that's just one example. So I think it's doable, but it's very hard.
Okay, thank you so much, Toshiki. And next we have a question for Danny. Sebagai venture capitalist, apa pendapat Koko soal future dari cryptocurrency yang sekarang terus berkembang?
Yeah, this is a very interesting question ya. Jadi cryptocurrency itu a lot of people itu kan basically is a faith-based currency. Jadi currency yang based on faith. Jadi the value will grow if many people believe in the cryptocurrency gitu, in it gitu. Nah, makanya price-nya itu bisa volatile karena kadang-kadang maybe there are some news yang buruk buat cryptocurrency and then the price suddenly drop, bisa kayak in a single day bisa 10%, 20% gitu ya. Tapi when so many people, so many prominent people ya, so many public figures endorsing cryptocurrency, itu akan membuat that cryptocurrency itu stronger. Ya, let's say like the first ya maksudnya yang satu public figure yang kuat banget, they have a strong influence, itu adalah Elon Musk. Elon Musk when he endorsed Dogecoin and also even put Bitcoin in Tesla's balance sheet. Ya, I think it is a very major step ya yang untuk the cryptocurrency ini era gitu ya. Jadi and then I think a few days ago Mark Cuban also I think he declared that Mavericks ya di Dallas itu udah bisa beli tiketnya using Dogecoin. Jadi begitu diumumin itu, and then suddenly Dogecoin itu langsung naik gitu ya, dari from 800 I think to 1,900 sekarang. Cryptocurrency itu even the Fed the Fed itu udah mengakui ya, cryptocurrency is just another gold gitu. Jadi it's not a medium of exchange karena ya maksudnya belum sampai ke sana walaupun Tesla udah memperbolehkan ya beli Tesla using Bitcoin. Kemudian yang Mark Cuban juga memperbolehkan beli tiket, I think Dallas Mavericks using Dogecoin. Tapi it's not really a medium of exchange yet gitu karena masih ada masih ada beberapa orang yang belum percaya itu dan price-nya tuh volatile untuk menjadi alat tukar, untuk menjadi medium of exchange. Jadi kalau misalkan consider as a storehold of wealth, ya itu kan sama seperti gold ya, as a storehold of wealth itu masih bisa gitu. Jadi if you wanna invest in cryptocurrency, considering the price is very volatile, you only put maybe a maximum 5% of your cash of your portfolio, maybe in cryptocurrency. You can do that. Maksudnya we don't know. Jadi a lot of people are skeptical about this cryptocurrency, but a lot of people are optimistic. Nah, yang skeptical itu ternyata for the past 1 year mereka akhirnya dikalahkan oleh orang yang optimis dengan cryptocurrency. Karena mereka bilang Bitcoin is not gonna get any higher lah than misalkan than 30,000. And then suddenly Bitcoin hit 40,000. And then after 40,000 yang skeptical itu aduh ini mah paling bakal turun lagi like 2017, 2018 akan drop menjadi 10.000, 5.000. Tapi enggak, ternyata mereka wrong ya. Akhirnya Bitcoin hit another record high 50,000 and then another record high lagi 60,000 gitu. Jadi ya di sini I think I got a direct message from William ya. But doesn't gold have a limited supply? Yeah. So as Bitcoin also have a limited supply. Ya, itu yang membuat Bitcoin itu berharga karena Bitcoin has a limited supply, acting similar character, ya, similar character to gold, ya. But this is like a gold for millennials. They call it gold for millennials. Back then our parents maybe they buy gold lah for ini ya, salah satu untuk investasi gitu. Nah, I think for us, for our generation, we buy Bitcoin for investment. Kita udah I think kita udah no longer buy gold. Yeah, anyone in here buy gold? I don't think so. I think anyone in here will buy Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think that's it for me.
I think something to also add is I think Bitcoin, yeah, a lot of people believe it, some people don't believe it, but a lot of people actually believe it because the technology behind the Bitcoin, which is like the smart contract, right? And then where everything is decentralized, not centralized. People who hates like banks and Bank Indonesia, for example, they rather store their money in cryptocurrency where they decentralize everything. So it's not like monopoly. There's no one people who controls everything. I think that's what actually people believe and actually why people buy it. And so I think that's just my opinion. A lot of people have different opinion, but for example, like Facebook, they actually have one division actually dedicated to like cryptocurrency stuff. And cryptocurrency is not just Bitcoin, right? There are like so many technology that you can build with the technology behind Bitcoin with that smart contract, right? For example, I know there's open source or startup starting kayak WhatsApp gitu, but they actually use like smart contract decentralized way so people communicate so the data is more secure, for example. There are like so many other applications using that technology behind Bitcoin. So I think that's where it's going. It's not only like Bitcoin and that's it, I feel like.
Thank you. And there's a follow-up question that's asking, so is cryptocurrency revolutionary or just viral?
I think the technology behind cryptocurrency is revolutionary. Yeah,
I agree.
Okay, and there is another question for Danny. What advice would you give to technical majors such as like the non-business that wants to dive into the entrepreneurial journey?
Okay. Yeah. So technical majors, maybe coming from quite a non-technical major because economics is actually a Bachelor of Arts. Yeah, I think that there is a reason behind why they put economics under art, because there are too many complex things ya to learn gitu di ekonomi. For technical major, karena a lot of technical major people ya, I think they deal a lot with numbers and exact ilmu eksakta ya nama kalau bahasa Indonesia. Jadi exact calculations. Jadi 1 + 1 = 2 gitu. 2 + 2 = 4. Nah, being an entrepreneur is not always 1 + 1 = 2. Karena entrepreneur itu you have to have a good networking skill. You have to have a good team building skill. Karena being an entrepreneur nanti kalau kalian mulai hire a lot of people gitu ya, you have to have that soft skill ya untuk bisa lead leadership skillnya, untuk bisa lead the team, untuk bisa transfer your vision for the company to your team members ya, dan also you have to be able to sell ya. Itu that is the most important aspect of being an entrepreneur. Number one is you have to be able to sell anything, your ideas firstly, because if you want to raise fund, you have to sell your ideas to the venture, to any investor that you meet. Yeah. The second one, you have to be able to sell your products. Yeah. Jadi that is the reason I think like people like Elon Musk, people like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is a bit different from Elon Musk. Yeah. Steve Jobs is not a too technical guy. Dia more into like an art and a sales guy ya. Dia bisa jual, bisa present dengan sangat bagus. Nah, tapi Elon Musk itu is a combination between technical and also a sales person ya. Karena brandnya Elon Musk itu sangat kuat sehingga dia bisa move yaitu crypto ya, bisa move even the Tesla stocks itu move karena solely based on the Elon Musk brand. Jadi if you guys searching for video of Elon Musk like 10 years ago when ketika dia lagi mulai Tesla dan SpaceX, udah video-video lama dia ya, dia itu sering tampil di TV. Dia itu sering doing this kind of jadi jadi dalam tanda kutip ya, tapi mungkin nggak terlalu ini, tapi dalam tanda kutip dia itu seperti kayak selebriti ya. Dari dulu dia sudah mempotray image-nya dia aktif gitu ya di apakah di television, di lain-lain gitu. Jadi makanya brand dia tahu how important is building a personal brand and company brand. After that, dan dikombine dengan dia technical person, itu yang I think a very good combination yang bisa membuat dia itu rising up to the top very very fast ya. Even I think in 2021 dia jadi the richest man in the world ya, gara-gara saham Tesla-nya naik sangat tinggi. Ya.
Totally agree with what Danny said. I feel like being entrepreneur means wearing a lot of hats, especially in the beginning in the startup.
Exactly.
Like when you're in a seat, for example, when it's just 2 of you, 5 of you, you need to do the marketing, you need to do the product stuff, you need to do the tech stuff. So
Yes.
yeah, and then I feel like there's so many resources now as well. Like for example, picking a technical versus non-technical, like it doesn't mean that, oh, if you become a software engineer, you're not going to be able to talk. That's not true at all. Like even in software engineer, ada manager software engineer, ada director of software engineer, which is not a, so in software there's like a 2 path, like satu namanya IC, individual contributor, satu lagi namanya manager gitu. Kalau manager dia nggak coding sama sekali. So it doesn't mean actually if you're taking like a CS major, forever in your life you're gonna be coding. That's not true gitu. Kayak at one point lu bakal jadi manager, and what you do is manage other people, manage projects. So that's like, I would say non-technical still, right? Like it's not like coding forever. If you become mathematician, mechanical engineer, for example, you're not gonna do mechanical engineering stuff forever, right? There's gonna be at one point you're gonna switch, and then yeah, even the same thing as if you start a tech company, it doesn't mean the CEO have to be able to code. Does the CTO code? Probably no. Kayak the CTO will probably manage all how the engineering stuff works, hiring people, set up the culture of the company. Kayak CTO nggak code at all gitu. Kayak jadi jangan ever think kalau if you pick a technical major now, you're gonna be doing that technical stuff like forever, because that's not true.
Okay, thank you for that. I think that reassures a lot of people here. So before we move on to the next question, we just want to remind, no more like tell everybody in the audience that Danny actually has to leave in 7 minutes or 8 minutes. So if you have any questions for Danny, feel free. Danny, there's actually one question in the chat. Ko Danny, kalau kita mau belajar ilmu tentang investment secara luas, bukan hanya startup, better we apply to investment company atau venture capital untuk dapat belajar ilmunya. Tapi di satu sisi major S1 saat ini yang diambil gak ada hubungan ke sana seperti engineering.
Yeah, better we apply investment company or seperti engineering. Okay. So if you want to be ini ya, apply to investment company atau venture capital. So the way I hire people ya, biasa tim dan segala macam. Biasanya I looked at their experience first ya, and then the second one is their university major ya baru ya. Karena kalau mau apply to investment company atau venture capital, yang major yang paling relate to this to this kind of companies is corporate finance. Jadi kalian bisa apply finance major atau corporate finance. Tapi there are a lot of engineer itu working as jadi investment banking. A lot of engineers, karena investment banking itu they deal a lot with numbers, crunching numbers, kemudian selling their products ya, investment products to people. Jadi itu kalau misalkan mau engineer nggak apa-apa, as a basic untuk bisa set your engineering mindset ya, and then after you graduate bisa apply to investment banking firm, itu kemungkinan besar mereka akan terima.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so our next question is a question for both of you. It's a pretty general question, but what are the main challenges you faced when first starting your jobs, and what are some tips and advice for people who want to work in the same field as you?
Okay, maybe Toshi can start with this.
Sure. I guess it's gonna be very technical. For technical people. I guess I let Danny to help the business side. I think for me, doing side projects was really helpful for me because of the thing that I said, which is when I transfer, I don't have that many experience like other people have. So doing a lot of side projects, doing things on your own, looking at just look at website, for example. So my example was I was a software engineer. I was an electrical engineer. So what I did was I bought the Arduino, for example. I don't know if you know Arduino. It's like mini processor that you can buy. It's really easy. It's like a toy. And then there's a lot of like tutorials in YouTube and website that you can just follow. And then I built like a the hand language ASL like translator. So if you use your hand, it will translate to like a LCD and will tell what character it is. So that's what I did. So that's just one example. I think for other people, side project it doesn't have to be technical. For example, I don't know. I feel like if you're a business major, what you can do, for example, if you want to sell stuff, right? You want to sell stuff, you build the website by yourself, you have all your plans, and then like how you execute it, you build a website, build a landing page, for example, to see how many people actually like it and stuff like that. There's just like so many things that you can do, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so Sharon, sorry, can you repeat the question again? So I think tadi agak sedikit
Okay.
lagi.
Okay. So what are some tips for people who want to go in your same field, and juga what are the main challenges you faced when first starting your jobs?
Okay, so ya, mungkin tipsnya adalah have a courage yang tadi ya, like earlier that I said to you guys ya. Kemudian the second thing is you have to have a big curiosity. Jadi selalu penasaran terhadap sesuatu yang memang kalian sukai. You have to learn and learn and learn, karena sekarang ini I think the world is changing so fast ya. Jadi kita jangan sampai ketinggalan. Be relevant. Always be relevant gitu. Jadi cara kita menjadi relevant adalah kita bisa keep reinventing ourselves gitu ya. Jadi learn and learn gitu. In my field, in venture capital field, hal-hal yang perlu kalian pelajari itu adalah gini. Jadi venture capital itu is an intersection between entrepreneurship, ya, finance, and also technology. Ya, jadi venture capital itu adalah intersection daripada ketiga hal itu. Kalian harus mempelajari, harus punya spirit entrepreneur. Kalian harus punya technical skills of a finance person, ya. Dan yang ketiga, kalian harus be as inovatif dan punya mindset teknologi gitu ya. Jadi ketika di sini mungkin ada yang pengen bekerja as soon as you graduated ya, karena nggak mungkin kalian begitu lulus langsung buat venture capital, itu nggak mungkin gitu, karena being a venture capital itu butuh banyak pengalaman, butuh banyak network yang bagus, dan butuh trust level yang tinggi, because you manage funds untuk bisa diinvest ke companies ya yang grow. Nah, jadi ketika kalian mau bekerja, ya kalian harus punya itu, ketiga itu. Karena every day I deal with so many entrepreneurs yang come to our office, pitch their ideas. Every day, maybe sehari itu bisa ketemu 2 sampai 3, either itu in person atau Zoom ya. And then di sana itu kalian harus bisa menempatkan diri kalian di entrepreneurial mindset-nya mereka gitu. Karena kalau kalian terlalu misalkan kalian nggak punya entrepreneur mindset, kalian akan susah untuk communicate with all the founders ya. Jadi itu yang hal yang harus dimiliki. Kemudian yang kedua adalah finance ya, technical skill di finance. You have to be able to understand the numbers di perusahaan tersebut gitu ya. Jadi lihat dari sisi tractions-nya dan lain sebagainya. Itu there is a technical skill yang kalian harus miliki. Ya, ditambah juga tadi dengan valuation ya, jadi harus bisa ada itu. Kemudian yang ketiga itu teknologi. Jadi kalian harus terus keep updating dengan teknologi yang sedang berkembang, and then learn how this technology itu bisa diimplement ya ke sekarang ya, misalkan ke situation yang ada sekarang. Teknologi itu banyak sekali yang terlalu advance sehingga mereka tidak bisa diimplement di current situation ya. Banyak gitu perusahaan-perusahaan tech yang udah raise hundreds of billions of dollars tapi akhirnya gagal. Contohnya misalkan kayak Sebagai. Ya, Sebagai itu kan dulu booming banget tuh di US, also Indonesia, tapi it's not really implementable. Akhirnya dia udah fundraise dan akhirnya gagal ya. Ada juga teknologi yang terlalu tinggi ya mimpinya tapi akhirnya nggak berhasil ya. Itu ada satu I think there's a woman in Silicon Valley yang dia invent satu produk healthcare product yang akhirnya itu jadi kayak gagal total gitu ya, padahal udah raise billions of dollars gitu ya. Jadi itu ya blood test ya, itu namanya siapa ya, saya tiba-tiba lupa ya. Jadi kurang lebih kayak gitu sih, mudah-mudahan menjawab ya.
Okay, thank you so much, Danny and Toshiki. And it's actually 12:16 already. And for everyone, Danny has to go first because he has another meeting, but Toshiki will still be here to answer your questions. And so for Danny, thank you so much for giving your time and coming to our business and STEM career talk and sharing about your insights and being an inspiration for many of us, because I'm pretty sure we all have learned a lot from this career talk.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Danny, before you go, just
Yeah.
want to ask, kalau misalnya orang-orang ini ada yang mau ask you more questions, is there a way to contact you or?
Bisa via my Instagram. Usually I reply to all the DMs, to some of the DMs ya, yang ini, yang benar gitu DM-nya.
Okay, then we'll share Danny's username.
Tapi bilang aja, maksudnya di DM ini bilang aja dari cara Permias yang di Anza, jadi so I know gitu. Okay.
Right. Thank you so much, Danny,
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you.
Nice knowing you, Danny.
Thank you, Toshi. Nice to meet you.
Our event will, in our schedule, it actually officially ends at 12:30 a.m., but Toshiki is willing to stay back for a little longer. I think he just got disconnected for a while. So
I'm still here.
oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. It's my internet then. I'm sorry, Toshiki. Okay, so the next question would be how do you step in the future vision of Yahoo Fantasy Sports, and what is your way for Yahoo strategy when experiencing a decline in the startup business?
Is it about the company or is it about mine? Individual or is it about mine?
I think it's about in the middle, like the company and your contribution.
I guess I can share showing I guess from two perspectives earlier. The first one, I think I feel like it really depends on, I care more about the team that I work on compared to the company. So for example, I will not say the company name, but for example, company A, very famous, everyone know, very prestigious, everyone will go to company A, but you're gonna actually be working on a team that's not interesting at all. Just think, the bigger the company is, the more people yang ada di company itu, berarti there are more projects yang actually not interesting, you know. Compared to maybe company B or maybe like Yahoo, it's already declining, but actually the team is very good because it's fantasy sports. I like it. And then fantasy sports is actually pretty growing because of sports betting. But the Yahoo in general is declining, I think. So I think when I got the offer for the first time, I had that option too. And I picked Yahoo because the team, because I think we'll interact with the team more than with the company itself. So I think that's why I picked Yahoo in the first place. Yeah, so I think that's how I should probably put it. But in terms of like career growth, there's like a plus minus to both, right? Kalau misalkan company bagus tapi timnya sampah gitu, yeah, actually you don't learn anything because, and then all the stuff they make is not interesting at all. It's not useful, right? For example, as a software engineer gitu, like myself, I want to work on something that's actually client facing and actually like people will use it. Sometimes if you go to big companies, sometimes your client are not users gitu. Sometimes you just make some, I don't know, like internal tools yang bakal pakai cuma employee-nya doang gitu. Stuff like that. So it's not interesting at all, although you're in a good company. So it really depends. Some people care about the brand. Yeah, you work in company A, that one matters. Tapi yang lo kerjain actually not interesting and actually sampah gitu. Atau you don't care about the brand and actually you want to learn some stuff gitu. It's depends on the people, I think.
Okay, thank you so much. And there's another question that's asking whether did you face any discrimination while working in the States, and if yes, maybe how to combat it? No,
because Bay Area, it's all Indian and Chinese. Sorry to be racist, but yeah, that's the truth. No racism, no discrimination. I think it's fine, especially in the Bay Area. Yeah, no discrimination. I think a lot of Asian, a lot of international people as well. Tapi sometimes for people, culture can be a bit different. For example, when I was in Goldman Sachs, Kayak orang Indo biasa kayak agak suka apa sih, kayak agak suka malu-malu takut gitu, kayak misalkan oh manajernya belum pulang jadi gue agak nggak enak nih pulang duluan gitu, kayak stuff like that, which when I was an intern I was actually like that, like I don't want to go home before the manager goes home. Actually it's not important at all. Yang penting actually how much work you finish gitu, like although kayak you always there before the manager goes home, tapi kalau kerjaan yang nggak kelar sama aja gitu, right? I think that's just like stereotype Indo kali ya. Habis itu kayak tentang misalkan kayak kayak agak takut kasih opini, nggak percaya diri. Kalau misalkan nggak setuju, nggak enak bilang nggak setuju soalnya jabatan dia lebih tinggi, kayak stuff kayak gitu. Which is in the US, kayak that's actually very encouraged for people to do that gitu, kayak to speak up, to show your opinion, kayak gitu lah basically.
Okay. Next question is, what is one thing you would tell your old self?
I guess take internship when you're in the Anza, and then do more stuff, and then this is how I think right now ya, kayak the more kayak makin tahun itu kayak teknologi makin mantep gitu, kayak there are more resources that you can find in Google. Like for example, back when I was in the Anza, if I open YouTube content, let's say kayak jadi software engineer tuh kayak apa sih gitu. Kayak when I was in the Anza or when I was in high school gitu, kayak actually Tokped sama Gojek kayak belum terkenal sama sekali, kayak actually you don't know anything about it. And then kayak lu pengen tahu kayak jadi daily life as software engineer di Google kayak apa sih, kayak you have no idea because nggak ada kontennya di YouTube gitu. Now you can actually look it up and you can actually kayak say gitu, kayak oh actually jadi software engineer tuh kayak gini, oh jadi kerja jadi investment banker di JP Morgan Chase tuh kayak gini gitu. There are more resources. So there are more things that you can get just by being rajin and more like penasaran lebih gede gitu, kayak just explore the browser. Tapi what it means is that orang yang rajin dan orang yang pinter bakal makin pinter karena all the resources are there. Tapi kalau orang yang males ya bakal makin ketinggalan sama orang yang pinter. Kayak that's what it means. Right? So I think just explore more, and then always like work hard. Kayak when you work hard in college, you're gonna work hard again when you're in university to get an internship for different goal. When you get your full-time job, you're gonna work hard again to get promoted, or you're gonna work hard again to think about what you want to start back in Indonesia, stuff like that. There's always like it's the same thing, cuma kayak beda goal aja. Cuman sometimes kalau udah habis lulus kerja gitu, kadang-kadang kayak what I'm gonna do next? Soalnya kayak lumayan bingung. Kalau dulu di sekolah kayak lumayan jelas. Pas di college kayak okay, next thing I want to transfer. Habis transfer, next thing I want to get an intern. Habis intern, next thing I want to get full-time. Tapi habis itu udah kerja, kayak it's wide open. Kayak lu mau kerja di company lu 20 tahun, terserah. Mau balik ke Indo, bikin kerja, boleh. Mau pindah company, boleh. Kayak nggak ada aturannya gitu. Jadi, usually people have like a, kayak stage di mana kayak, aduh, gue nggak tahu nih mau ngapain sama hidup gue gitu. Kayak after lulus, biasa kayak gitu. But it's fine. Kayak as long as you always work hard, talk to people. And then, for example, if you're still in the Anza and then you join this webinar, you wake up early just to join this webinar. Like that, I guess that's it.
Okay. Just wanted to ask, so did you take any internships when you were in University of Michigan?
Yeah, I did internship twice actually. The first one was a non-paid internship in Ann Arbor, and then I got an internship in Goldman Sachs. Then I got a full-time job. So yeah, it was very hard to get an internship. So that's why I ended up doing the non-paid one first, just so that I get some experience and then can do another internship.
Do you have any tips for us on how to get those internships?
Yeah, I think for people in college, sometimes it's a bit hard, especially if you are technical major. I think because you don't really, like for example, this is just example, software engineer kalau mau intern butuh kelas data structure misalkan, tapi di college actually belum diajarin misalkan, atau ya di college sudah diajarin, tapi it's not as deep as kalau di uni gitu, stuff kayak gitu. Jadi I think I would probably say jangan pedulin tentang duit internshipnya, but just care about the internship experience itself. And then emang nyari kerja itu nggak gampang, especially di US gitu. Kayak nggak bisa punya connection terus dapat kerja, kayak susah. Kayak nggak bisa kayak di Indo, ya bokap gue kenal nih orang di mana terus masuk kerja gitu. Kayak nggak segampang itu. Mungkin bisa, tapi agak susah. Jadi mungkin ya coba apply, coba misalkan coba startup aja. Kalau misalkan company gede biasa the path to become an intern biasa kayak lebih jelas, kayak misalkan oh you have to be in this school, you have to know this gitu. Kalau misalkan startup, they usually need people, jadi maybe you can try to talk to them gitu.
Habis itu kalau misalkan di US nggak bisa, maybe you can just do it in Indo gitu. Misalkan you wanna try Gojek, just try to find, I don't know, like someone in Gojek. Kalau if you have a kenalan, you know Nadim, you know Kevin or whatever, just talk to them and basically say, oh, I need an internship, I don't need to pay, I just want to learn something, kayak stuff kayak gitu. Dan nggak harus Gojek, even kayak startup yang kecil aja, yang whatever it is, just like try to work without getting paid. Tapi try to actually benar-benar learn something from it. Jangan cuma disuruh kayak gini, lakuin and that's it, yang kayak gitu. Tapi actually benar-benar out of curiosity, ask questions, benar-benar try to belajar. At the end of the day, what you learn is the most important part, not the brand where you intern, right? So yeah, just try to do something. Even work at your parents' company, work at your parents' friend company, just do something. Tapi actually do something yang benar-benar you learn something from it. Jadi if people ask what you do, you can actually answer gitu. Ya kayak gitu sih. So many resources in YouTube and books, by the way. So many good resources.
Yes, that's true. And there's a question that's asking, in your experience, typically, do you see many Indonesians do public service after college?
Public service maksudnya kayak government gitu kali ya? Kayak government related work kali ya? I think a lot of people actually do that, tapi mereka banyak yang di Washington DC deh kayaknya. Kayaknya kalau di Bay Area, everyone is very tech, right? Very tech focused. Kayaknya if you go to DC, I know people who actually do like public service work, some government work. Or even like a Georgetown, a very famous political university, right? So, yes, but not a lot from Bay Area, especially from my Anza friends and DVC friends. Kayak nggak ada sih, mungkin satu kali. Kayak rata-rata kayak dulu kayak di Anza pasti orang majornya either engineering atau business gitu kan. Even kayak business pun juga there's still like technical stuff in business, right? Like if you want to start a company, it's not just like starting a company, right? You have to do a market research first, do the market evaluation first, and then actually, if you want to build a product, you don't build the product right away. Sometimes you just create a landing page, see how many people actually visit your landing page, and see if people like it or not. And landing page you don't have to be an engineer to be able to create a landing page. You can use like Wix or Squarespace gitu yang kayak gampang banget bikinnya, terus gratis gitu. Pakai itu, terus see actually do people actually visit my stuff? Do people actually want my product? Yeah, and then abis itu do iterate. There's like a book called like Lean Startup, for example. Basically idenya jangan bikin the whole thing. Jangan spend kayak let's say 2-3 bulan building the one thing yang actually you don't even know if people want to use it or not. Jadi you spend 2 months, 3 months, build something. Build one example. Let's say app, I don't know. It doesn't have to be app for a business major. So let's say product. Okay, let's say like gelas gitu. Kayak gue mau bikin startup gelas nih. Gelasnya dari bambu misalkan, something yang actually it's environmentally friendly. That's my value, right? I want to sell this gelas. And then you build it, you spend 3 bulan cari pabrik yang actually bikin gelas bambu, terus lu bikin 3 bulan, and then when you try to sell it, no one actually want to buy it misalkan. Karena Indonesia actually people don't care about environmental friendly, they care about the price more, for example, right? So instead of doing that, lean mean instead of actually creating the covers, misalkan yang kayak gue bilang tadi, bikin landing page. Bikin aja page yang gampang, kasih lihat gelasnya bikin dari bambu, minta temen yang bisa desain, suruh bikin desainnya gelas dari bambu, atau even cari aja dari Google, put it, bikin kalau, if you interested in buying one, put your email here. Udah titik, landing page-nya cuma kayak gitu. Terus actually see how many people actually wanna use it. Kalau misalkan yang taruh email cuma 1 orang, berarti no one wanna buy it. If actually 100 people wanna buy it, dan ya udah baru mulai bikin prototype-nya, misalkan bikin 100 dulu gitu. Kayak always like iterate cepet dibanding bikin hal gede, habis itu lama prosesnya gitu. Okay, that's one example of doing like business stuff, right? It's not kayak there is always like some stuff. It doesn't mean that if you're majoring in business, you're not like it's just a business. Cuma ngomong doang, nggak kayak gitu. Okay, there's always a stuff, there's always a procedure, there's also technical stuff that you have to know gitu. Sorry, that was long.
That's okay. And there's a question that is asking, why did you choose to transfer from Cali to Michigan?
From Anza, you mean?
Yes, from California. Why did you choose to transfer?
Back then, EX di Michigan lumayan bagus. Kayak I think electrical engineering di Michigan lumayan kayak it was very good. I think the CS was not as good as EE. I think that year. Tapi I transferred as an EE. Jadi ya udah. Kayak actually I have other options as well, but then I wanted to go to a best school possible, and then turns out it was very good because going to school in Midwest, it was very different because it was like a college town. School spiritnya very high, the football, basketballnya jago. Jadi tiap footballnya main kayak ada partinya, bukan party doang, tapi kayak maksudnya school spiritnya tinggi lah, kayak very different, kayak things that you don't actually see in a lot of school in the Khalif side gitu loh. Tapi one thing to remember at the end of the day, let's say you want to transfer to whatever school. I guess most people want to go to Berkeley usually if you're in Khalif, but if you didn't get Berkeley, it's not always like the end of era, right? You don't go to one thing that you like, think that you want, you don't get what you want, it's fine. Like, it doesn't mean anything, right? Like, it doesn't mean you go to a good school and you will get a good job. No. Okay, some people go to good school, tapi mereka malas-malasan di sekolahnya, atau mereka actually nggak gitu jago. Sometimes ada people yang go to bad, yang sekolahnya nggak sebagus itu, tapi mereka rajin banget dan kerja keras terus. Actually, they get a job easier than the one who goes to a good school gitu. Tapi at the end of the day, it's just a hard work and just keep doing that, I think.
There's a fun question in the chat. Do you like football? And which NBA team do you support?
Which football is this, like American football? American football? No, I follow it because of my work. Yeah, I follow it because of work, but it's okay. I think not a huge fans. I like soccer and basketball more. NBA Lakers.
Oh, Lakers. Okay. So we have one last question before we wrap things up, and that is if you could describe the most important traits for us students for our future careers in 3 words, like what would those words be?
3 words?
Mm-hmm. You could put adjectives or like a short phrase or anything.
For students?
For us.
Probably hard work is number 1. Keep doing whatever you're doing. Like, for example, attending these webinars is one example, showing that you actually want to learn something and want to focus on something. Keep doing that. Habis itu probably second, maybe like never give up. Sometimes you don't get what you want, but it's fine as long as you keep hardworking. And then probably third one is maybe like have a goal, I guess. Know what you want to do. Always keep having a goal. Very easy for now. You don't need to have a goal now because it's very easy. You know what to do in the next 2 years or 1 year. But then later on in life, sometimes you need to have a goal or you'll get lost, I think.
Thank you so much. That was very good. So it looks like we have reached the end of our business and STEM career talks. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I know it's not exactly a good time for everybody, but we hope that everybody learned a lot. And if you have any follow-up questions, you can, for Danny, I think you can find his Instagram. And for Toshiki, how should we contact you if we want to?
You can connect on my LinkedIn, I guess.
Yes, you can connect on Toshiki's LinkedIn, which is actually just his name over there. And yeah, Marlon?
Yeah, that's it from us. Thank you so much for joining. And for Toshiki, thank you so much for giving your time for us to share about your experiences.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I hope it was useful, even a bit. And you're gonna be in my position at one point as well, and I hope you're gonna help the next generation of the Anza so they can get better, I guess.
Yes, it was very useful, actually. I think we all can learn. Yes, we can all learn something from it.
Okay,
very fresh perspective. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a great night or daytime.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
So,
Thank you.